Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hopefully you're coming back from some awesome adventure. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to stop by and hang out with me. We're going to talk about lights. I had the opportunity to go on location and interview the CEO of KC HiLites, Alan. And a few months ago, I wanted to upgrade my own lighting setup to something that didn't draw as much power, threw more light, and was just more efficient, also safer because it didn't generate as much heat. I used to run with the older Rally 4000 incandescent lights, but man, with all the technology, all of the advancements in LED lighting technology, it was time for me to make the switch. KC HiLites, they've been making lighting equipment. They've been experts since the 1970s. I'll let the video speak for itself, but that's the direction we decided to go. And I wanted to mention that Overland Bound is a member-first organization. What that means is that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our members, and so we always try and figure out a way to create value for our members and give back to our members. Everything we do is member-focused. And with KC, we started talking with them, and they said, hey, we'll give your members the best prices and free shipping on KC products. And we were absolutely thrilled. It's a way for us to give back. So yes, you are going to see KC products in our store. If you're logged on as an Overland Bound member, you get free shipping and awesome prices. So at least go and check it out. Lighting equipment is one of the first things you think about doing when you're outfitting an overland rig. So it's worth a gander. Lots of great products out there, but that's what we got for you if you want to go and take a look. Now, with all that said, let's go talk to Alan. Thanks a lot again, and until next time, outfit and explore. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, I'm super excited. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I'm here talking with Alan. He's the CEO of KC. And you guys know we're really careful what we put on our rigs. And recently we put on the KC light bar. We chose to go with KC. And Alan, thank you so much for spending the time and sharing what you guys are doing with KC. It's been really exciting the last few months.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. I mean, we're very appreciative to have the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, you really test the product, install it. And I think sometimes we are so busy developing the product, we don't have an opportunity. So this is a great opportunity for us.
It was a natural for us. You guys, so KC was founded the year I was born. That was 1970. They've been making lighting products for a really long time, so there was a little bit of a nostalgia for me, but looking at their products, they absolutely blew me away. Tell us a little about the last year, the last few months, and what KC is developing.
Sure, and what's interesting about that is the company was started by Pete Brown.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily in off-road racing. He needed to see in the dark, and he needed a solution, and that's when the daylighter was born. Off-road racers naturally use the product for those purposes.
Then you mentioned the daylighter, and of course in the mid '80s I had the daylighters on a Toyota SR5. Right. I remember the light.
Yeah,
they were incredible.
To answer your question about what's the latest and greatest, still not many people know that KC makes LEDs. What we're doing is very different than what the rest of the market is doing. Most of the market is using forward-facing LEDs. So we've got forward-facing LEDs that are on a board, and essentially they have these little cups that culminate and shape that light. Well, we've taken that concept of LEDs on boards, but what we've done is we've faced the LEDs into a reflector, and the reflector is now granularly shaping the beam to go further, or to go in places that a forward-facing LED can't really go. By facing the LED into the reflector, we can basically capture more light and shoot it forward. Yeah. And we can also direct it anywhere we want to go. But you can't do that as well in some instances with just forward-facing LEDs.
You know, I worked with Andy when we were choosing the gravity system for the Overland Bound rig.
Right.
You guys were very involved in the conversation, which was awesome. We configured it so that the outer two lights that point outwards are more of a flood beam, and then the lights in the center are more of a focus spot.
Right.
So when that bar comes on, I have coverage, you know, exactly where I needed it, and we were doing that
17-day trip through Baja,
Right.
we had that conversation. It was like, hey, let's design it in this way.
Right.
And you guys were very involved, and that was really cool.
Yeah, and I think beyond optics and beam, you bring up a good point, which is when you look at our gravity line, everything is designed to be modular. The gravity bar links together, so when you buy a 8 light 50-inch bar, and you eventually buy something where you want to move that light to a smaller, narrower width, you can unlink them, vice versa.
Yep.
The beam and the optics are actually sandwiched by 2 rings, so you can change out those optics if you want, where if you needed something a little bit with more distance in the middle versus some wide 40s with a broader beam on the sides, you could do that. And that's the philosophy of the company, is innovation. Optically, aesthetics, and sort of from this functional perspective of being able to be modular and customized.
Well, modular design, I mean, when I hear modular, just thinking, you know, quite honestly, just about my own pocketbook, when I hear modular, this is a system that I can configure myself. If my needs should change, I'm not throwing everything out, buying a whole new system. I can configure what I've already invested in to change the performance.
That's exactly right. And that, I think, is, again, the philosophy of KC now, is backed by this experience we have in engineering. How do we, in a way, combine new technologies and new ways of thinking without diluting our experience or our traditional look? And it's interesting because with the Pro 6 and the gravity stuff, I think we've captured both old school and new school in one, with all of this value-added sort of feature for customers that they can invest now and grow as they change, you know. So that's very important to us.
What do we got here? Can we just like break down some of these lights here? Just like, what are we looking at here?
So right here you're looking at, you know, we talked a little bit about the Gravity Pro 6 bar, which are interlinked to form a light bar. Well, these are Pro 6 singles, so they're single lights that have that same look for the A-pillars, front bumpers, so on and so forth. We offer them a variety of beam patterns, of course.
These render my high beam headlights useless.
Useless, yeah.
Absolutely. You just turn, I've got a pair of these on my front bumper, and as soon as you turn them on, every other lighting source is irrelevant. They're fantastic.
Awesome, and on the other side of that, so we do offer an off-road beam pattern like Spot, but we also have what we call SAEC street legal beam patterns, which are bright, but don't blind the opposing traffic coming towards you. So kind of segueing into the next row, these are all our street legal gravity LED lights. Because we have that granular beam control through the reflector, you know, faceting, we can shape it to the point where we can meet and exceed essentially DOT on headlight stuff, but also auxiliary fog and driving beam patterns that meet street legal criteria. That is something that most companies can't do, just because, again, culminating light just with a little, you know, round cone, you don't have that kind of granular control. So we do have some great off-road choices. We have some great street legal choices for bumper, A-pillars. So that's kind of what you see here with the Gravity line. So the Gravity line is our flagship LED line. And again, it's very, very versatile and diverse in terms of the offerings depending on what your needs are. And then coming down to the last row, we just have some very good forward-facing performance at value LED cubes, and we have a whole line of LED light bars for, again, A-pillars, front bumpers, overhead. So we do have a very, very diverse, full vertical line of lighting for every need, really. So it's really depending on what you need.
Alan, thank you. Is there anything else we should know about KC before we conclude?
I think answering your question about what's next, we just launched our MRAC roof rack system.
Is that an announcement at this expo?
It's fairly new. We have announced it already, but it's still fairly new. So we're getting it to market now. But it was actually designed with lighting in mind first. It serves the purpose of sort of rooftop storage. And so we're looking as that platform to mount lights, but really grow it to really mounting anything. Photo packs, you know, solar panels. I mean, essentially anything that gets us out further to reach new adventures. So you're going to see us come out with a lot more stuff for the MRAC system, but also a lot more products that are in and around, again, reaching new adventures and reaching new heights. So
yeah, adventure is necessary.
Adventure is necessary.
It is absolutely necessary.
Yes.
So your MRAC series, it is roof racks for a variety of vehicles that will accommodate your lights kind of as a package system.
Yes, right? And so we've got an overhead front light bar system in both a Pro 6 and in a C series. We also have side lights that are area LED lights that flood the areas. We've got a rear LED tail light bar. So again, it was built for lighting. So I think it's going to be a great product to look at for all of your viewers.
Great, awesome, Alan. Thank you so much for
thank you so much.
Really
looking forward to a lot more.
Yeah,
so.
looking forward to seeing what you guys coming out with.
Awesome,
next.
thank you.
All right, you bet.